Hi Aquarius, hope you're having a good day. Welcome to Earth Wisdom Fire Tarot. So this is going to be a general reading. I'm doing it in the beginning of May 2020, but this could resonate for you whenever you happen to find it. These energies feel a lot bigger than just this month, especially since it's been so long since I posted. Sorry about that, but divine timing, right? Everything happens for a reason. So this could be for your sun, moon, rising, or Venus, or any placement that you personally want to. You can cross watch if you want, whatever works for you. I'm gonna look at the situation, so it could resonate for any part of your life. Doesn't have to be a love situation, doesn't have to be a work situation. It could be whatever fits for you. Then I'm going to get into the challenges and the opportunities and the next steps or what to expect in this situation. So, yeah, definitely doing personal readings. You can find that in the description box below or at earthwisdomfire.com. Alrighty. These readings have been intense so far. I started with the fixed signs and it's like, whew. Now we're going through it. Or I should say I'm going through it because I'm a fixed sign person, dominant person. Okay, so bottom of the deck is the Queen of Swords in reverse. Then we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. So I think there's something you've been kind of unsure about. There's been something that you haven't really been able to get clarity on, you haven't been able to wrap your mind around, and you're struggling. And I think that you're in a point in your life where there's clarity available to you, but because a lot of the details aren't settled yet or a lot of decisions haven't been made, you kind of feel a little bit lost, a little bit confused, a little bit sort of out of sorts mentally. And I think a lot of this has to do with a breakup or like a severing of some sort of connection, because you have the Nine of Cups as well, which is a card of being single. So I feel like, you know, you could be newly single, you could be coming out of a relationship, and you know, I don't think the energy of this relationship was necessarily toxic or unhealthy. But I just don't think that it was in alignment for you. It wasn't right at the time. And it could have been that it was too easy, like you were just too comfortable. It was almost like you were just kind of indulging in something that felt good and it wasn't fully in alignment for you. So with this Knight of Rods, I feel like, yeah, this could have been just a sexual thing. I don't think it was, though. I think it was romantic, or it was heavier than that, or more important to you. With this Knight of Rods, I feel like there's this intensity and this passion around it that hasn't gone away even after you've become single and figured things out on your own. Like you're still drawn to this person, or if you're not drawn to that specific person, you're drawn to somebody from your past. You have the Six of Cups here. But I feel like you can't really see them. Like your back is to them. You can't really, like, you don't really know. This person is kind of like lurking there in your past, kind of hanging out there in your emotions. I do think that this is somebody that would make you happy, but until you actually are happy within yourself, you're not going to be able to even recognize this person. You're not going to be able to see them right there. This is somebody that you have like a lot of affection for. It does feel healthy. It feels pure. And it feels like you're not seeing it yet. Maybe you're not supposed to see it yet. Or maybe you just kind of feel it intuitively coming. You know that something big is coming. Okay, so let's look at the challenges of the situation. Okay, so bottom of the deck is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So we've already seen like 3 queens, and they've all been in reverse because I think, especially if you feel like you hold more feminine energy, I feel like you haven't been feeling fully yourself. You haven't been feeling fully in your powers. Like you don't see it, you don't recognize it, you don't know how powerful you are. Literally right underneath that, you have the World, and it feels like you've been through a lot. Like you've really been through the ringer. You've learned your lessons, and it's almost like that maturity has made it difficult for relationships like this Two of Cups to resonate for you. You need something with more depth. It can't just be like an emotional or sexual attraction. Like there has to be so much more. Like you have to be able to build a life together. You have to be able to support each other as partners. I feel like that's what you really truly want. But the situation that you're in, it's like, it's not that. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. It's like more like just a fling type fun energy, or that's what you kind of, it's like what you feel like it's like you only feel like you only have the capacity for like that. You don't feel like at this point you can go further than that. But I don't know, the universe is saying there might be something more here. So you have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So one of the challenges here is that it's been coming out in a lot of readings, but I think there's been some painful situations in the past around feeling left out, feeling abandoned, feeling alone, just like really deep, intense loneliness. And I think it's hard for you to see how this informs your, like, what kind of relationships you're drawn to. It could be a fear of intimacy or a fear of commitment because of how a lot of your relationships have kind of disappointed you or not lived up to what you want, or you've been left. You know, I feel like you've been the one who's been hurt in a lot of these situations more so than being the one who's done the heartbreaking, if that makes sense. So you have the Queen of Rods in reverse. Like you literally have 3 queens in reverse here so far. Nothing is really going to change until you have this confidence in yourself. And you have this belief, you know, in yourself. It's like this lack of confidence is attracting people that are beneath you. Like that's the simple truth. People that aren't on your level, people that aren't gonna actually satisfy you and fulfill you. It's like you're attracting junk food, but you are like the like most like the fanciest gourmet meal. You know what I mean? It's just like yeah, there's a mismatch of energies, and it's like you're intentionally keeping your vibration low in order to make it easier, I think, for people to come in here. And then you have the King of Cups. So I think you have really intense, deep feelings for somebody here. And I keep looking at this Nine of Cups. I think you're drowning them. I think you're like literally drowning your emotions for somebody. It's really, really hard to like see them clearly or accept them because You don't feel worthy of them. There's like a real mismatch here. It's like you don't feel like you're worthy of this energy. It's like every queen has come out except for the Queen of Cups. Every queen has come out in reverse. But I think the uncomfortable truth is that this is the person that's for you. This is the person that you want. And they do feel very open. They feel very willing. I think it's you that's the one that's holding back. It's like you'd rather go for something easier. Like, you know, this person would require a lot of work. You know, this person is difficult. But you also know that they're worth it. You also know that they're worth it. This could be this person that's coming back from your past, the Six of Cups energy. Could be a masculine person. If you feel like you're the more masculine person, this could be just somebody that's like super serious about you. Like, they have real serious feelings. Let's see. Let's look at the opportunities. Wow. Okay. Well, there she is. Queen of Cups. She heard me talking about her. She came out. Okay, okay, bottom of the deck we have, okay. There's the World again. Okay, so we have the Temperance and the Lovers card in reverse. So I think the opportunity here is rather big. It's a good thing. I think this isn't really an opportunity that you can miss. This is something that's probably meant for you. But when going after this, like, you kind of have to be totally open and vulnerable. And I think that you have some blockages that are preventing you from fully opening up to this connection. You need to transmute those things and heal those things before you can really even see this person for who they are. You're very much out of balance with this person, and it's like neither of you want conflict, neither of you want to like get into it. You're trying to like keep things on an easy keel. You kind of just want to focus on the fun and light aspects of this connection or of life, but there's some serious stuff that you're not looking at here. And it's like it just keeps building and building and building until there's like this breaking point where you have to surrender to it. Then you have the World again. And the Empress, which is like all the queens together. She like represents all of that. So I feel like you're on the right path. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity here. The key advice here is about, because you have the 8 of Wands and the 8 of Cups. And 8 is about mastery. You kind of have to do the work. You have to do the hard emotional work, and you have to be open to receiving the same energy that you've put out. Receiving blessings, or, you know, receiving consequences of your actions. I feel like this 8 of Wands can go either way for you. Because the truth is, with kind of choosing these relationships and these connections that aren't worthy of who you are selling yourself short, and you're kind of avoiding this work that's been piling up, and it feels like it's coming through in a deluge, and it's intense, you know. I think with this 8 of Cups, you're getting to this breaking point where you are going to walk away from those kinds of relationships that aren't emotionally satisfying and don't fulfill you. I also feel like you're daring to hope that there could be something better. I think that hope has been something really tricky for you in the past. It's been a touchy subject, because you've been disappointed and let down so many times. I think over time you've kind of lowered your standards because it was too painful to have hope and expect that somebody would show up the way that you wanted them to. So with this Queen of Cups, I feel like there's all this like stuff you need to heal within you. I think this is your true form. I think this is who you are. Like, even though you're an Aquarius, I think that you have this soft, vulnerable, empathetic, loving side to you. Or that's who you are. That's not even a side. It's just like, that's just how you are. You're a healer. And you're a good match for this person. They could literally be a water sign. They don't have to be. I just think that this is coming out here because you have a lot of really intense emotions for each other. Like you love each other, you know, and you're such a good match. But I think that there's some things in your past that you have to walk away from. There's some truths that you have to accept. Like you have to kind of let these messages and revelations kind of come through and hit you one after another after another. This Eight of Rods. With the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, I think you need to detach from the outcome. This does have the potential to turn into something lasting and real. I don't think that those decisions have been made. It's not like set in stone. And I think this is an opportunity for you to like do the emotional work that you need to do, whether or not there's like this carrot being dangled in front of you, or whether or not like there's a guarantee of this working out. I do feel like it's worth it to do this work, whether this is the real deal or not. But whether this is the real deal or not, like you came together to really love each other purely and really just heal each other. Like this feels like your energy. This this Six of Cups, Queen of Cups, King of Cups energy. Yep, it's very, very loving. Very sweet. Now we're going to look at next steps. All right, so on the deck is the Six of Swords. Okay, yeah, I think you are going to heal. You're definitely going to work on this. You are going to kind of take that path. I feel like with this Six of Swords in reverse, it's like there's maybe been a tendency to run from this kind of relationship or this kind of opportunity in the past, but you're not going to run this time. You're going to stand your ground and face it and deal with it. We have the Moon in reverse. So I think what's sort of blocking you or standing in your way, or what sort of like needs to happen first, is that you really work through your relationship with your intuition. I think it's kind of been abused over time. Your relationship with your intuition. I think that you've named some things your intuition that actually weren't your intuition, is what I'm getting here. You have the Hangman in reverse. It's just like you've had a hell of a time just surrendering and just letting go and letting things play out the way that they're supposed to. But I feel like you are I think that you are going to let go of control in this situation. It's not going to be easy, but I feel like that's your path here. With this Two of Rods, I feel like you're just kind of choosing to align to what's meant for you, and you're not trying to edit it or make any assumptions anymore about where you're headed. You're open to what's meant for you. The Page of Swords in reverse, I feel like in terms of communicating and taking action on the situation and kind of like precipitating some sort of like big conversation, I don't see that really happening. I don't see that really being what's going to get you to move forward. I feel like it's really just kind of getting your own thoughts right, like getting on the same page with your own emotions, like within. That's what's really going to propel things forward. And that's when you're going to feel like it's safe to take a risk and it's safe to take a leap of faith and move forward. And a lot of this in this row feels like it's happening energetically. I'm not sure you're actually like physically taking action or saying something out loud, but there's this internal shift that's happening because of the healing and the work that you're doing on yourself. And it's putting things in place behind the scenes so that you are in the right place at the right time and inspiration can strike. You have the Ace of Wands here. And I'm getting this message that you may have been creatively blocked before this. You may have been really bored. with life, with going through the motions, you know, because you were bored because you were attracting situations that weren't feeding your soul, that they weren't nourishing you. They, like I said, it was like junk food type energy. Um, and it's not even that any of that was a waste. It just wasn't very efficient. It wasn't really pushing you and helping you learn the lessons you really needed to learn in the most efficient way. So I feel like this Ace of Rods is you kind of taking the opportunity to just like learn the lesson, get the inspiration, and like actually I feel like learning the lesson is coming through actually doing the healing. Like the lesson is the healing. Like that's really what it is. And this Ace of Wands is this creativity that's flourishing within you again because you took that leap of faith. You moved forward. You let go of the past and just, set off on a new path, the path that you're always meant to be on. So I feel like you're really free now. You have the Eight of Swords in reverse. Instead of being in your head and kind of discounting your emotions, I feel like you have taken the blindfold off. You're seeing things clearly, and you're accepting the truth with this Justice card. And I'm getting that you have really been craving, like I said, partnership. Like Justice card represents Libra energy. And I feel like you've wanted something balanced and like really somebody who's equal to you. Like this is a mirroring type energy. This is a very balanced energy. And I feel like you do have a very balanced, healing, harmonious energy with this person. But on top of having that energy, you now have the truth. You now have clarity. You may actually have this opportunity to tell each other how you feel, or it's just going to become so obvious and the situations will sort of come full circle to give you this closure on that past situation and kind of just fully close the book, and Justice card is also the number of awakening, and that's been a theme as well in the energies. And I do feel like you're awakening to what you really, really want, what you really deserve, and you're not settling for less. You have the Ace of Cups, true love, and healing, and abundance. So this is the prize. This is what all of it has been, about. Instead of a situation where you've connected to somebody else, but you still feel like something's missing, I feel like this is all of it. Like this Ace of Cups could be anything. The possibilities are limitless. So instead of settling, you've like opened up this whole new set of possibilities, and you're making of it what you want, what you will. So that's really, really beautiful, very satisfying. This reading, there's so many cups cards, like there's so much emotion, but it just feels like everything is really aligning once you start surrendering and letting this love in. I think that's really what this is about. Like I think you've turned your back a lot on true love, on something real. You've turned your back on it because the alternative was a lot easier. If you had your expectations really, really low, it was really hard for people not to meet them. But instead of having expectations, I think it's just about having standards. I think that's really the key. If you just have standards and you have those within yourself, if somebody comes to you and they don't meet those standards, it's not like they didn't meet your expectations or not. It's just like they didn't even get in the first place, So that's really what this is about. Okay, so we have Sacred Fool. So that's 2 times the full energy has showed up in 2 different decks. But I like this one especially because this is about really being in alignment and expressing yourself authentically and not being afraid of how people see you. I think what's a bit intimidating about this new emotional connection with this like King of Cups, Queen of Cups energy is that there's no hiding. You just kind of, everything is out on the table whether you want it to be or not. And I think like at first maybe you felt like you were being forced into that, and that's why it felt uncomfortable and kind of scary. But I think once you're more comfortable with it and once you really see it for what it is and the opportunities available to you there, you'll embrace that. You'll love being able to just be yourself and have somebody accept you 100% for who you really truly are on the inside, and not this like performance that you feel like you have to put on for everybody, like that mask, that ego mask that protects your heart and protects your soul from harm. So we have 8, be the hunter, not the hunted. So that's interesting. I feel like there's so much of this reading is just like not doing anything and is just kind of letting things happen. I think it's really just about letting yourself let things happen, because you've sort of halted this or put the brakes on it or tried to ignore it. But this be the hunter thing, I think, is about your own healing. I think you need to be proactive, and you really need to like take a leadership role in your own healing and kind of delve into that and dig into those energies deeper within you. Sort of take the initiative is what I'm getting, instead of just letting things happen to you. Like, do the work, do the real healing work. You have conscious connections. So this is like unconscious choice that this is a conscious choice that you two are making to connect with each other. I think, again, like, you don't want to look at it. You don't want to see it. You want to look away, whichever one of these you are. But no matter how much you try to look away, like, look at how similar these two women are. Like, look at how like their vibes just completely match. I feel like there's just no denying that this is your match, that this is your equal, and there's this beautiful flow between you of your energy. But and even like if you're not looking at it, it's still there. If you're not paying attention to it, it's not going away. So with restore and replenish, I think you just need to take your time with this and rest and not force yourself into something that you're not ready to do. I think that just the nature of your life and who you are just automatically drains you a lot. Like, you just kind of like, life just takes a lot out of you all the time. So you need to make sure that you're resting and healing and replenishing your own cup. And I want to say that you two really feed each other, like you water each other, you help each other grow. It's not a draining connection. So if that's your fear, that this is going to be a lot of hard work, it's hard work, but not in the way that it has been with others. The hard work of this connection is really just like showing up as your true, authentic, vulnerable self, like really allowing yourself to experience true intimacy. It's not the kind of work that you've had to do with others where it's like emotional labor and fixing them and healing them and stuff like that. Like, you're healing yourself and they're taking responsibility for their healing as well. It's a very mature connection. The reward, celebrate your magnificence. So when you really see yourself for who you are, you really see yourself for your beauty and your power and your radiance, like, I think that's how this other person sees you. They see you as a prize. They see you as a reward. I think that you will understand that you actually do deserve this. I think that you're dealing with self-worth issues. You don't see yourself this way, but your person does. And I know that you see this person that way too, but you don't feel like you deserve them, or you don't feel like they're for you. You're like, they would be amazing for somebody else, but not for me. You don't see that for you. But you see each other that way. It's crazy. You're very, very aligned with this person. It is by going down into the abyss that we recover the treasures of life. Where you stumble, there lies your treasure. Congratulations, you have a life worth celebrating. You've suited up, shown up, did your heroic best, and lo and behold, hear the trumpets. You have entered the reward phase of your journey. You've accomplished the seemingly impossible. This is a moment to stop and drop to your knees in gratitude for who you've become, what you've accomplished, and the blessings you can now share with the world. You might find it challenging to receive your reward, but it is important that you do, even if only for a moment. The reward becomes easier to accept once you realize that the more you take in, the more you will have to give. Breathe this in, soak it up, let its splendor fill you, radiate through you, and elevate your awareness so you can have even more blessings to share with the world. So definitely feel like returning to this Nine of Cups, because I feel like this is what you've wanted. Like, this is what you've always wished for but didn't think that you deserved. But it's been right there underneath your nose. Like, it's right there. All you have to do is let it in and accept it, and it's yours. This is meant to be. that's what spirit is saying. Stop resisting it is what they're saying. Just accept it and embrace it. This should not be hard. This should be a no-brainer, you know? You should, like, if you're following your heart and listening to your heart, this would not be a difficult thing. There's very little resistance here in this reading. So it feels like you almost just kind of like melt into it. Instead of it being like this hard and fast, like 180, like intense thing. Like, I just did the Leo reading and that was like a whirlwind, like it was very similar vibes to this, but this feels a lot softer and a lot easier and a lot just like, it just flows. It just like naturally evolves into this if you just let it. So hope this helps. Thank you so much. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'm doing private readings, so you can find all that info down below. And see you next time. Bye.